Good evening, everyone. Give me a few minutes, well, about a minute, and I'm going to get the link shared out here for the live stream. Bear with me. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to share this out on Twitter as well. And one last place here. Which is going to be Telegram. Then we'll get started. Hey, everyone. All right. Awesome. Nitesh saying I am still short from 29,200. Great to hear. We're going to go over a few things here. I did actually just take a scalp long on Bitcoin. This was an idea I was waiting for in the Discord, but I've already taken profits. I might long another retest. I'll just talk about this idea very quickly. Here. Let's just pop over to the Discord for a second. So you can see here, this was yesterday afternoon. I said I'd be interested in a long down here. This price was approaching. I said I'm still interested in this idea. I scalped along there. And I talked about what would be my take profit. This all happened recently. So anyways. So there's a chance I might take another long. Right now we are reclaiming the range lows. We're holding them. So I'm still in my long. I wouldn't mind seeing something like this for a potential setup to add to that position. Coming down and cleanly tapping this ascending channel. Some pairings front ran this low, so certainly could happen, certainly might not. I might just have what I have left as a scalp long, targeting up into these highs. Or I might look to add to my shorts. These are all local levels. I'll take a quick look at ETH again, because I also wait, is the price cut off on this? Yeah, hold on. I don't know how that got resized. I also scalped along off ETH here, but I took profits. I don't think this is a particularly major level, but we are getting a nice reaction. And I was really using Bitcoin as confluence there. I'm curious to see. I'm just breaking down the 1 minute chart so the structure is easier to see. But anyways, let's go over some high time frame ideas on Bitcoin. Just so happens that I'm actively in this trade. It definitely is a sign of strength here to have pushed back up into these lows and potentially be reclaiming them. So the long could certainly carry. But what I'm going to do is let's go to some higher time frame charts. Let's get rid of this for now. And I'm going to break down my thoughts as we come into this new month. You know, we can even start on the monthly time frame just to get a frame of reference. Here we are. We have retested our old lows. This was a major target. Even from down here, it was still a major target. Still major resistance to potentially claim or reject from. Expecting some volatility around the monthly candle. We're going to mark out this low. We're going to see this clearly on all time frames. While we're at it, let's mark out the top of all of these monthly candles, just to have those as a reference. All these ideas of structural support and resistance work and can be applied on all time frames. We see this low as a major low. We're going to start looking at some confluences there if we see a rejection, a major rejection for some long setups. Now, of course, this was that major cipher target. I've talked about this short idea a lot. But just because I'm short doesn't mean I'm not willing to take longs. For example, I shorted up here, but I'm still willing to take longs. I longed down here, I shorted again, and I'm willing to take longs, take shorts that make sense, build positions both ways, take profits, and I'm happy no matter which way price breaks. So let's go down to the daily time frame, and we're going to start marking out all of our key levels in this range, because that is good practice. You just want all your levels identified and marked out. We're looking for confluences. I'm going to draw two hypothetical channels here. Also going to take a quick look at a couple altcoins. How different are these channels? They're quite close. I'm going to explain these levels in a second and give my thoughts, but I'm going through this charting process, even though I've already charted all these levels many times. It's just good practice. I'll show you guys kind of what my thoughts are. Ultimately, my goal is not to make a prediction and say, hey, I'm only long here, or I'm only short here. I'm marking out all my levels of interest. Then I evaluate price when we approach them. So as some of you know, I shared this idea. I mean, obviously I've shared all these ideas in the Discord, and everybody is pretty happy. I think the last few weeks we've nailed a lot of moves. But I took this long, and this was an idea from here. This idea, we were in this, it's not so visible on the 4 hour, but we had a triangle forming here. The idea was coming down, breaking through this trend line, sweeping this low. That was a long trigger for me. up into the range highs. That was a short trigger for me. This range is still in play, and I'm still willing to look for longs at the range lows locally. And I'm willing to look for longs here, which is why I took one. But this is more of a scalp idea. If we look at major levels, I think it's pretty clear from a structural perspective. We have our current range. I wouldn't be as interested longing this without some very clear signs in order flow, because this resistance or support is going to start getting quite weak. If we break down, this is the other area of interest for me. Be coming down, maybe even coming through this level a bit, retesting this key horizontal zone. You can see, why is it a key horizontal zone? Well, the best clue is just to see how price was interacting with it. Support, resistance, support, resistance. We had obviously a local point of control here. We have a high volume area. It's kind of a bit of a region. And so I wouldn't mind coming back down and retesting these highs, this level, this fib, this high volume area, looking for longs there. But ultimately, my target is back through these lows to the 19,200K region. But I don't necessarily think price has to go straight there. Could get something like that. And my approach is to mark out all my levels of interest and wait patiently for setups. I took $1 million position here. Almost $1 million between ETH and Bitcoin. And, you know, if you're patient, you wait for your setups, trading with some size, get a nice quick entry, nice move up, grab 5 or 6 grand and let the rest run. So this was a scalp. I think really to the downside, the only levels I have below here are this idea, and 19,002K on a medium time frame. And the reason this level is quite nice is because we get to come down and sweep this liquidity at the $23,900 level. So we'll get a lot of people very bearish if we eventually come back down here, breaking down, people shorting the breakdown, expecting this low or lower. You have a minor squeeze up. I wouldn't be surprised if we align with the golden pocket here at this horizontal retest. Maybe the way price forms some sort of descending structure, parallel structure. I always am looking for those. There might be a nice chance to take a long, and maybe this plays out, take another short, targeting down into here. This is one idea. We're going to talk about ideas to the upside afterwards. And so how do I manage this? Well, I have my levels. I can sort of imagine how price could play out if this works out. And I just plan accordingly, playing these levels, understanding which levels I'm interested in playing on the way down and which levels I'm interested in playing on the way up. We might come back to this, so let's just put it in a folder. Let's start talking about upside. But understanding that this is just, a range, and we can certainly hold here, especially locally. We have nice confluence with liquidity ideas right above or right below our 786 and our golden pocket. So this idea of maybe we do bounce here and sweep these highs, This could be a scalp short idea, a scalp add. Now, of course, if there's major bearish absorption here, there's certainly a case for trying to hold more of it as a swing, but I would probably look for a quick TP1 and just think of it as adding to my swing short with the size I have left over after TP1, stop to entry on this new position. But I actually quite like the idea of pushing up higher and taking these highs into the 786. That is a better liquidity idea, I think. I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see that play out. These are local ideas. Now, regardless of the cipher idea and all the stuff I've showed on a high time frame from down here and how important this resistance is, I'm still recognizing two things. One is, yes, we have a nice rejection here, but we are still in a range. And a breakout is always possible. And you can actually trade longs and shorts, longs, shorts, longs, shorts, and take profits on both sides. And no matter which way price breaks, you can come out ahead. It's a very powerful idea. But yeah, so really sweeping these highs, I'd be interested to see, one, the timing. Do we have bearish or bullish absorption? The timing around the new monthly candle. Where's price? Are we opening in the monthly candle here and then pushing up, wicking above this high with a strong rejection? Makes the trade more interesting. Lots of longs opening, getting trapped. So there's always context to think about. Also is this ascending structure idea, which if we push through the highs, something to think about as a potential short trigger. Again, just willing to short a rejection from the highs of the range, willing to long reclaims of the lows of the range, and always willing to take a stop loss if that idea doesn't work. Take lots of winning trades, trading ranges, and then typically, if you trade every sweep of the range, you'll end up with a losing trade unless price just breaks straight down and does not sweep and reclaim the range and then break down. And when that happens, it's actually great because you don't get a trade trigger. Your shorts just carry and you don't take the L. Of course, if we break out, we have levels overhead structurally that are quite clear. We have these highs. These are going to be a target if we break out for liquidity. But if we break out and take this high, even if we come back down and retest this level, I would not be surprised to see us continue to 48K. It's a major target for me regardless. I'd rather see it happen something like this, but this is always possible. You know, we have reactions from key levels. We're trading key levels, or I am. But it's important to recognize that price is still in a strong uptrend here. We can imagine a rejection, but we certainly don't have a major one yet. Let me just read some comments here. Seems like there's a debate going on. Someone's asking about TP1s, usually 1%. In fact, it works on fair risk, even if you're moving. Let me just get caught up to speed here. See if there's anything to answer. Okay, the general gist, it seems to be me taking a quick TP, the risk reward and all that. You know, sometimes I'm not taking a quick TP. Depends on the context of the trade. But oftentimes, when I do take a quick TP, I'm looking to add back to my position. And sometimes what will happen is price will consolidate and range at the lows. And you'll take that initial TP, longing here, this swing failure. And you have opportunities to add back, TP, add back, TP. And sometimes you can do that 2 or 3 times. What that does is it allows you to build a position as price is ranging. And there's some clues whether or not price might be more likely to range. But yeah. So I like TPing quickly when I think the situation might call for it. Sometimes I don't get a nice clean re-add, but that's fine with me. I still have some bullish ideas on ETH, which is why I took a long on ETH as well. Because I really would like to see 2K hit. And of course, I took longs down here on ETH. This is the 4-hour chart. But I took a lot of profits. I did short ETH as well up here, which I've also taken profits on. Shorted it along with Bitcoin. But the higher time frame idea on ETH BTC is still holding for me. I've had a few ideas here, but generally for order flow reasons and structural reasons, I'm still bullish on ETH, especially while we're holding this ascending structure. And we could see a strong ETH against Bitcoin. Now, obviously this could just mean that Bitcoin comes down deeper and ETH doesn't have quite as deep of a retracement, and that can send your ETH BTC pairing up. But we've also seen ETH depeg from Bitcoin, right, and rally while Bitcoin significantly while Bitcoin ranges, or even while Bitcoin drops. So that's always possible. And I'm just interested in longs at support and shorts at resistance, and certainly more open to swing ideas at major levels. There's also a high time frame idea here on Matic I'm interested in. As some of you know, I did short the top of Matic. I've redrawn this channel now. This was a predicted channel. I actually got the short right there. Pretty amazing. In hindsight, it looks pretty dumb shorting there at the time until it works. But there's a major 786 here. This idea of coming down and taking this low. I was interested in that idea back here of coming and taking this low. We didn't quite get it. I'm still interested in this idea. I have alerts set, and I'm certainly interested in taking along there if we have a nice reaction. I also got into an insane position on ARB. Got the exact bottom of the move. You know, I had this idea of maybe longing if we swept and reclaimed this range. And we just broke down, so I said no long for me. But then as price was forming a range here, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to try a small long off a sweep and reclaim of this local range low that we are forming. And we got the move. Pretty cool. I didn't particularly expect that trade to work because, you know, there's a lot of price discovery here to be done, but that is the power of even just local TA, a local range, taking it long on the local range lows, and turns into a swing. It was worth the risk to me, which is what I explained when I took the position. I am on a pretty wild win streak right now. But let's Yeah, you know, I would also be interested in potentially taking a small scalp short. If we can sweep these highs into the 786. Now, of course, some of you probably don't understand what I'm talking about or why in this public live stream, but these are just technical setups that I look for. Do you have an alert set there? It's a short I'd be willing to take if we sweep and reject. And I always am using risk management and invalidation. Kevin's asking, when you build a position, do you add back to your initial size or initial size plus TP1 profits? Sometimes just initial size. Sometimes I throw the profits on as a, it depends on the situation. Sometimes the structure of the trades changes a little bit when you add as well. Sometimes your invalidation is not the same on the add as it was on the initial position. But I want to say this. People always ask things like that, like, do you add this? Do you do this? How much risk? The thing is, what I do, although it's interesting and there's probably some things to take away from it, doesn't really matter. You know, are you adding your, like, for example, someone says, are you adding your profits back to this position? That shouldn't have any effect on what you're doing, right? Or do you add your profits? Well, just because I'm doing something doesn't necessarily mean you should do it. You know, it's sort of like when people ask how much, and this is a topic that comes up a lot, how much, what's your, you know, return every month, or what's a trader's return? What can I expect? If I go full-time trading, how much can I expect to earn? Well, there's millions of traders. You're one of them. The best answer to that question will be, what are your results? So you're a trader. You want to go full-time. How much are you making every month? That's how much you can expect to earn. Is it 0? Is it minus 10%? Is it plus 5%? Do you have any of that data? So these are kind of silly questions. I'm not saying your question is silly, Kevin. I'm just saying, you know, these types of questions don't really matter because you can just do the math and think, you know what? What's my win rate? What's my what is my risk? What's my reward? What's my max drawdown potential? Do I want to add my profits back to this position? Do I want to take those profits? And trying to decide what you're going to do based off of somebody else's performance doesn't make sense. And it particularly comes to the question of people wondering if they should go full-time trading, or they want to go full-time trading right away, and asking how much money they can make, when that answer is completely individual and should be based off of their performance and the data they have produced. So hopefully that makes sense. There are traders who make absurd money, and there are traders that eke out a living and enjoy what they do. And there are traders who don't make money, and they don't last very long. All right. I think we covered a lot of stuff pretty quickly here. Any update on the trading platform? Yeah, it's the live open beta is going to be coming very soon. Like, it really could start any day. Everything's ready to go. I'll say this, you have to link a MetaMask or a wallet to the account, so your public address, and that's because we're going to be using that to verify the account and then doing airdrop awards to that wallet that's linked to your account. but please create a brand new empty MetaMask wallet before you that you sign up with, just for best practice and safety and security. Obviously, I have no idea what potential exploits can be out there that people are looking to try to implement. And so I think it's best practice just to link it to an empty wallet. There's no charges that the platform initiates anyways. There's no need to pay for anything. So there's no reason not to just use a brand new empty wallet when you link the account. Because we're only using the wallet address to secure the account. So you're signing in with that wallet, and you get a prompt in the wallet. It says, it's a feeless contract prompt that says, "Are you signing in?" You say yes. We know that's the owner of that wallet is in that account trading. When you take a paper trade, it gives you a prompt, and you click it in the browser add-on. There's no fees, so there's no reason to have anything in there. And then when we go live and there's the live launch, rewards will be issued based on your performance in the paper trading platform to the wallet linked to your account. Someone says, when can we pay for the Lucky Apes trading floor in crypto? Right now you can pay in crypto, USDT, for the tier 1, like the higher tier membership, but there isn't currently an option for the lower tier. Although it's kind of confusing. Tier 1 is the higher tier. Tier 2 is the lower tier, but maybe that should have been reversed. The more expensive one, you can pay via crypto. I don't know. Someone asks, will you add a 3-month subscription? I think it's good for starter if you could say your opinion about that. Maybe. Right now, there's a month to month or a year. Philip wants me to take a look at ADA. And I decided to do this late. It's actually very late for me. Well, early in the morning. Just for our European friends. I haven't charted ADA in a long time. Since the lows. This is a golden pocket retracement. You can just tell. Beautiful bounce. Very clean ascending structure. Did we hit the 786? Not yet. Might be worth throwing an alert there. Interesting. All right, so a lot of people are going to be looking at this like this. So we have a breakout on this trend line. But I am tempted to look at it like this. This could be a big fake out. I'm actually going to pin this to here. We'll extend right and left. So I'm not saying I'm going to short this. You know, I'd have to spend some time here. But what the average trader is going to be looking at is this trend line. And probably have been looking at this trend line as well. And this is going to look like a pretty major breakout. But it would be nice to take the liquidity above these highs. Maybe with an expanded flat. I don't like the channel so much here. Now that I look at this. Because what you could have here, that would be kind of nasty. Sorry guys, I'm just thinking about I haven't done an Elliott wave count on this, but I'm just imagining. You know, there's certain structures that look very corrective. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm going to send an alert here. Be interested in taking this high at 0.441-ish into the 123.7, swing filling this high, then just wrecking people back down into these lows. The 1618 would be brutal. That would take us right through the major lows. 53% away. Of course, we can just break out. But this actually is a swing short I would be interested in if the reaction looks clean. Interesting. Let's get rid of a few things here. It's the 123.7 there. And if these are, I'm pulling hypothetical fibs here, by the way. And this would actually, because did we have a major low here that we front ran? Not a major low. We had this little wick. We had this. I remember some of these levels. Interesting. Just in case I totally forget about this chart, I'm going to send an alert there too. And, you know, this might seem a little weird to set alerts for price action this far away. But, you know, I may just forget about this idea. Maybe I do take a short here. Maybe I don't. And then come back to the chart and remember it. I'm sure I'll chart ADA before here, though. Anyways, we'll see. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I like this idea actually. But it is 3 in the morning, so I may not sit on stream for much longer. I think we did some work. I went over some general ideas here. Probably post some charts on Twitter and on in the Discord. Someone's saying they use log scale all the time. I recommend switching to linear. I typically use linear unless I'm looking at parabolic price action on a higher time frame. Someone says, so we're looking for shorts. I'm not sure what you were referring to on Cardano maybe, but I mean, this is still a long ways away. If we take these sizes, 15% away. So, I mean, we do need to break out of this descending structure to get there, and we certainly can reject. We have the local 786 here, which is strong local resistance. I mean, this is a bread and butter setup for me. If we take these highs and reject, certainly for a scalp short setup, this is more of a major idea. I mean, this is major as well. I could just see us potentially breaking out to take the liquidity above those highs. So we'll see. I'm going to wrap up the stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm seeing a lot of altcoin requests. So I'll probably do an altcoin request live stream in the near future. I'll take a bunch of chart requests and we'll look at different ideas. Happy to have a long running here though. Certainly was patient waiting for this key level. And just to go over that level, there's an ascending structure here. And it is our golden pocket of the move, of the local range. Let's just look on the 15-minute chart here. I was aware of this level up here. I quite liked it, especially because we had the liquidity to grab. I took that long setup. And that's what I shared at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, lots of questions coming in, and I'll certainly look to answer them. A lot of these questions, like Kareem is asking, how do you identify where there's liquidity? A lot of these things are taught in the Lucky Apes trading floor. Certainly, if you're looking to learn more about these concepts and trading, I think it's a great place to learn. Link is in the description. But basically, liquidity, you know, the reason range highs and range lows generate liquidity is if people are short, their stops are typically above the highs or their liquidation. Price pushes up to grab that liquidity. Major lows, major highs generate liquidity. That's why you see fake outs a lot of the time. And then there's people looking to break out long. There's a lot of longs opening here. Trap those people. That generates liquidity. And price just likes to seek that liquidity. Eventually it can start trending, but ranges form as liquidity is sought. Here you even have these liquidity grabs right before the move up. Yes, this is TradingView. All right, guys.